Hi, I'm Tom. I write fiction online as T.H. Willoughby and publish under that name as well. Um, and this week I haven't really done much writing. I just haven't felt like it, I guess, which kind of ties into motivation. And just like with everything else there is in terms of writing, motivation is going to be something which is very specific to each writer. Everyone is motivated differently, and they've got to work out what works for them. So I'm going to talk a little about motivation, not as a way of saying this is how you should do it, but of saying here's some different ways that different people get motivated, and maybe one of them will work for you if you are looking for something which is different from your current way, if you're not happy with how motivated you are to write. And so I'll start with one which doesn't really work for me at all, and then move on to three which in combination do tend to work quite well, depending on what my mental state is. So the one that doesn't work for me has just completely gone from my brain. It's just utter blank. Reward-based motivation, that's the one. So this is where you say, I will write for half an hour, for an hour, for 2 hours, for however long. And once I've done that, I will reward myself with X, Y, Z that I want or want to do. Yeah, I don't have enough self-control for that. I'll just get to a point where it's like, I can't focus on writing, I'll just do X, Y, Z anyway. At least I tried. So yeah, that's the one that doesn't work. The three that do work are a combination of goals, of habit, and of something else which has also gone out of my mind, so I'm sure I'll think of it as I'm talking about the other ones. So, goal-based motivation. I want to achieve X eventually, and therefore I will write today. I'm a very long-term thinker. I tend to spend a lot of time thinking about where I want to be, and so this is one of the things that motivates me. I, at the moment, want to be able to earn a living from writing. I do not want to have another job. I am aware that there is always going to be parts of writing that I don't enjoy as much as others, but I want to be able to do that in the time I currently spend working to earn money, if that makes sense. So that's what my goal-oriented motivation is. Habit or consistency is one of the ones which helps me the most, because it's not actually about motivation. It's almost like muscle memory for the brain. If I know that I have a schedule, then it's much easier to stick to it if I do it regularly. So for example, during the day, most weekdays, I will finish work sometime between 5 and 6 p.m. and then I will do dinner, do some chores, go for a walk, have a shower, and The plan is by 9 o'clock I'm sat in front of my computer and I can write for 2 hours or 2.5 or 3 or sometimes 3.5 or however many it takes. That sometimes slips depending on how many chores I have to do and how tired I am for work, but I do generally, this week being an exception, manage to sit down by about 10 o'clock and start working. So those are 2 of them. I did come up with a third one. And it's gone. Maybe I will write it in the comments if I think of what it is. So that's kind of where I am in terms of what I did manage to do this week. I got 2 writing sessions done. I usually aim for 3 or 4 during the week and 2 at the weekends, and only managed 2 during the week. I may be able to get an extended one done today depending on what else I've got going on and whether this morning walk instead of the usual evening walk I take, this might just kind of motivate me. Motivate? No. Guess partly. Fresh air and exercise drive the creativity, and that drives me to write. In those 2 writing sessions, I wrote roughly 10. Well, I didn't write. I got through about 10,000 words each. So I'm currently 20,000 words through the edit of the 90,500 words that I've written. If I can drastically speed that up, I mean, it's not impossible that I finish today or tomorrow night. I've been reading it in too much detail. All I need to do is a major plot point consistency edit. So I'm just going through, I'm making a note of all of the major plot points and major reveals and making sure that no one mentions them or refers to them before they're revealed, because I've chopped and changed a lot of stuff. I've inserted scenes earlier, and sometimes I will go back and write a scene, for example, that references something that I know happens, but I forget that it hasn't happened yet. So, I mean, if I can go to skim reading instead of full reading, that might just vastly speed up what I can do, and instead of doing 5,000 words an hour, I can maybe do, say, 15,000 words an hour, at which point 4, 5 hours, 6 hours today might, if I can get that long writing, mean that I finish the rest of it. But that's all I've got for you today. God, I sound like the lock-picking lawyer when I say that. Whatever else you happen to be doing today, I hope you have a good one. Bye. Hi. So, I've got a hopefully quick addendum to that vlog, because I remembered that the third thing which I use to motivate me is progress-based motivation. Basically, seeing the word count tick up, or seeing progress getting made, which, depending on whether I'm writing or editing, is a fairly big motivator, especially if I have got the consistency and the habit down. So there was that, and there is a lot of cars, and there's also the fact that I intended to write something else, talk about something else, which is anxiety and the concept of do it if you feel like it or if you don't. And this is something which I struggle with quite a bit. And basically, there are things I enjoy doing and there are things I want to do. And sometimes anxiety is enough to make me not start those tasks. That was very much the case this week. And do it if you feel like it or if you don't is mostly about getting yourself to start the task, and by starting it you effectively reduce the anxiety associated with it, because the anxiety is about starting. Once you start enjoying it, or you start getting focused on it, and then you carry on. Doesn't always work. Sometimes you'll start and then the anxiety is still high and you stop. Sometimes the anxiety is too high to be able to apply this principle. But it is something I have used a lot in recent weeks and months. It does work, and I really want to try and get into the habit of applying it more consistently, especially in weeks like this, because I think one of the reasons I didn't write is because I'm getting so close to the end. Once I get there, I'm going to have to show it to people, which until now hasn't been a problem for me, because I've known that there are legitimate things I need to do to make it a better manuscript. So I think next week is going to just be about sitting down and starting and saying, okay, I will do 1,000 words. I'll read it, I'll make sure there's nothing inconsistent, and I'll leave it there. And quite likely what will happen is I'll do 10,000 words. So that's all I wanted to say. And once again, I hope you have a good one. See ya.